everybody, I'm Laura Trump coming to you from Studio 45 at Trump Tower in New York City. Since Donald Trump was elected president, politics is madder than ever and the world has gone crazy. Joining me to make sense of it all is the author of the new book appropriately titled Mad Politics, Keeping Your Sanity in a World Gone Crazy, a psychoanalyst and TV host, and my good friend Dr. Gina Loudon. Dr. Gina, welcome to our maiden voyage of Studio 45.
I am so excited to be here. Your studio is absolutely beautiful and very befitting of all the good winning that we know is to come out of here. So
winning that has happened and that is to come. And something that I think is going to be a big winner is this new book you have. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, the timing, I swear, could not be more perfect. Every time I think that the political climate has lost its collective mind in ways that I never imagined, and that it's finally reached its pinnacle, it goes one step further. And so it just seems like, and this I think is the reason I wrote this book, Laura, is because I know that so many of our people out there who understand the heart of this president, who understand your heart, the heart of this family that is working so hard just to preserve our constitutional America. I know that they sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, am I the only person out here who's still sane, right? And so I wrote this as sort of an answer to that, how to understand that you are sane, how to enjoy the ride, because we should be having the times of our life. This is the best economic time of any place, anytime, anywhere in history. We should be enjoying it. And I refuse to let the left and their total insanity strip that from all of us who worked so hard to get us here.
Yeah,
right?
Totally
and especially from our president, who has, made this economy the best in our history. And that's not just for the traditional people that the media elite and the political elite have wanted to improve the economy. This is for everyone. This president has made great times return to America. And I want people to be able to celebrate that. So this book is all about that.
Well, and you talk about a lot of crazies in this book. Tell me, what is the good kind of crazy? Because you allude to that in the book.
Well, I think that there's an ability to do things with mad fierceness. You know, I always say the president is madly sane. This president has endured stuff that no other president in history
could ever have endured.
I mean, you and I talk about this all the time. Your family has endured it, and that's having been the wife of a former state senator. I know how it feels to be the family member and to endure all of that. But I also know how hard that part was on my husband, and so for all that he's endured, to have still accomplished one major mile marker every 36 hours for the first entire year and a half of his presidency, that tells you about a kind of sanity that I don't think the White House has ever seen before. To withstand the sort of scrutiny and attacks and litigation and all the things that this president endures on an every single day basis, and to still accomplish things that go completely unheralded sometimes.
Yeah.
I know last
oftentimes completely unheralded.
Too often.
Yeah.
More times than not, frankly. That tells you about his level of sanity and the way that he can keep it together, and also how little they have an ability to really affect his work product, which I think is amazing.
It's true. I always talk about the fact that people who want to criticize him, really, the people that are out there throwing things at him every single day and not distracting him must get so frustrated.
And that's why they try harder.
It doesn't affect him. He keeps winning for the country, like we always like to say. There are a couple other kind of crazies in this book. There's the problem with crazy and the cure for crazy. Tell me what those mean.
Well, it's interesting because you watch the left and they've become so desperate to maintain their money and their power base that they are doing crazier things by the day. And you've got your guy sitting out there in Iowa somewhere, and he just came home from work from a job that he didn't have before this president was president. And he's watching these crazy people, whether it was the Kavanaugh hearings or the protesters or the pink hats after the inauguration, or whichever you want to refer to. He's watching them going, you've got to be kidding me. Am I the only sane person on the planet? And I'm here to say, no, you're not. And in fact, the moment you start to believe the rhetoric that you hear from the clickbait media, which I have a whole chapter on here in the book, Mad Politics, the moment you start to believe that, all you have to do is go out on Main Street, right? Go out on any street in the United States, even in this heart of the most hardcore city, and you see people of all walks of life, all faiths, all colors, all genders, walking together, talking together, having a good time. That's America. That's Donald Trump's America. Don't believe the lies you hear on TV, because that will make you crazy. And they are dying for eyeballs right now. That's why they've become a clickbait media. But in doing so, the really sad part about it is they have managed to convince a lot of people that we are this divided country, which isn't true. So I want people to realize that and to claim that and to enjoy the ride that is the best economic times of our entire lives in this Trump economy.
It is a very exciting time, actually, just to be alive. And I try to remind people, and honestly have to remind myself sometimes, the reality is we are living history right now.
Yeah.
When people reflect back on this time in history, think about all that there will be to talk about. And we get to live it right now. We get to experience it and benefit from it. And it's so, so exciting. I couldn't agree with you more there. Now, you're not the only person right now that has a book out. Bob Woodward has a book out. And like many books about the president, this one is not so kind. Tell me your thoughts on the book.
Well, as the president continues to persevere and to win and to dismantle the very comfy apparatus that the elite inside of the Beltway and inside of the media have had and enjoyed for so long on the backs of the American people, as they continue to be exposed, they are going to resort to more and more desperate tactics. So Woodward's book is not the first book. Woodward's book, I'll get this out, easy for me to say, will not be the last book, Laura. We will see more of these. But you know what? It changes no hearts. It changes no minds. What changes hearts and minds is the fact that this president has accomplished the lowest unemployment, literally for every single minority group, including women, in history. What changes the hearts and minds of people are the jobs, the millions of jobs he's bringing back to the United States, that he's created in the United States, and that he's recultivated, that we don't even talk about very much because there are so many of them, it's overwhelming. Those are the kinds of real life, the fact that people can take vacations this year, and they had a vacation this summer, and they go, you know what, before Donald Trump's tax reform, I couldn't do that. So those kinds of things are what changes hearts and minds. You and I know that, the president knows that, and that's why he can stay so calm through all of this.
Now, something that I actually found interesting, you were telling me about previously, was that there is a very unique psychology to Donald Trump.
There is.
Tell me about that.
There is. So for all these people, especially Mr. Woodward, I would like to say this. His book is about gossip, innuendo, and political fantasy. There's nothing real in his book. I've not seen his book. I've not read it. I want to make that disclaimer. But everything he's highlighting, you would think those would be the best parts of his book, correct?
Right.
And all he's talking about is he said, she said, things that would be thrown out in a court of law in a heartbeat. But that's all he's talking about. My book is talking about scientific data, proven theory, using Maslow's hierarchy of needs that you probably remember from your psychology classes in your undergrad, using birth order theory, which is very well documented historically, using Myers-Briggs personality type indicator, right? Those sorts of things. Now, I say this in my book very clearly. I have not had the chance to sit down privately with the president and do an actual analysis from him. Maybe you can work on that for me. But I have spent a lot of time with the president, and I spent a lot of time with you and with your family. Right. So this doesn't come from nowhere. Bob Woodward, to my knowledge, have you met him?
No.
So how is it then that he's analyzing the psychology of this person when he, number one, is not a trained professional? I don't know that he's had a day of psychological study in his entire life. And he's calling this man insane? That makes no sense. Just think about it. On its face, it makes no sense, Laura. So in my book, I talked about the president's family of origin, his birth order, very significant. He has a double birth order, which is key to his personality. People will really enjoy. It's funny. Like, I talk about the funny things about the president. His birth order loves fun, and you can see that. I see it all the time. I see it at Mar-a-Lago. When he's out to dinner, he's having fun. He enjoys being president. When I see him in the White House, he's laughing. He's having a good time, but he is working hard. But he's not one of these, like, mad workers who gets, when they talk about insanity, to be insane, we all know somebody who's been depressed or insane. You see that they don't accomplish a lot of things. They're not comfortable in social settings, right? Even a sociopath really is uncomfortable in unplanned social settings. I think our president is frankly allergic to high-paid consultants and organizing and planning and all of those things. I think he loves the real contact with people. We see that in his rallies.
Yeah.
And we see that everywhere he goes. He can't resist reaching out to the crowd. He can't resist stopping the car on his way to Mar-a-Lago to take somebody to lunch because they were holding up a sign. This is who he is. That is not that is not the sign. And you won't find a psychologist in the world or a psychotherapist or a counselor who will tell you that is the sign of someone who has any sort of personality disorder or any sort of insanity. So it's dispelled in this book, Mad Politics.
Well, so interesting, and there's so much to read here. I'm so excited, that you finally took the time to sit down and write this book. I think it's very much needed right now, as you allude to in the title of the book. And I think we could all use a little dose of sanity in these crazy times for sure.
So true.
So
true.
Thank you for coming on the show. Thanks for being here for the first run of our Studio 45. And we can look for the book out now, right?
Mad Politics. It's available already on Amazon. And you can get it today. And I believe they're having like a first day sale. So people can order it today online for, I believe, a sale price. So super exciting.
Well, thank you as always for everything you do and for fighting for the president.
And thank you as always for being such a strong first family for all Americans. I know that everyone out there loves you, and it's just an honor to get to be a part of your show.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And thank you for watching. While politics is mad these days, the best cure for crazy is victory for the GOP in the midterm elections in November. You can get involved by visiting DonaldJTrump.com. That's the real news for today. I'm Laura Trump from Studio 45 at Trump Tower in New York City. Have a great day, everybody.